All right, everybody. Hey, check it out and welcome to the MURF and EDUBBS show. And we are back and better than ever. We had a little bit of a hiatus there for a little while, but we are back and ready to rock and roll for your pleasure. EDUBBS, are you there, my friend?
Murph, I am here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty damn good, brother. How are you? It's good to hear your voice over the airwaves.
Yeah, it's good to hear you as well, and happy anniversary, my friend.
Yeah. I was looking yesterday. I was looking through my emails, and I got an email from Spotify for podcasters, and it said, congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. Dude, we've been doing this for 1 year. I remember. Can you remember how we've been trying to figure this out, obviously, for a year now, and the sound has gotten a little bit better. And obviously, the content's gotten better. But I went back and I listened to one of our first two episodes, and the content was great. But the mic sounded terrible. It was scratchy. Yep. Your voice was high. Mine was low. But I think, it took us 40 episodes, which is being our 40th episode tonight, to figure it out. But I think it's been going pretty good as about now.
Yeah, well, I'm in Ben's room right now. Him and my wife are down at the shore, so I'm in the catbird seat. I hear when he calls in all the time, his voice is perfect. So how do I sound, Rich? Do I sound good?
Yeah, dude, you sound great.
Good. Yeah, I'm pushing him off the couch. I'm good. I'm taking his room over. So, how about that?
How about that? I got you all. When are they coming back? Now, wait a second here. I saw a picture of you a couple of weeks ago down at some beautiful beach area with your feet in the salt water. Why are you not down at the beach with your lovely family? Well, you're a water guy now, right? You're a water guy. You go in the ocean.
July's a busy month for me. I have work commitments. I can't go in July.
Okay.
Yeah, I did stick my big toe in the ocean. I thought I was going to drown after the toe went in, and stuff. But you know what, though? The water was like 90 degrees. The water, it was like being in a hot tub, basically. You could see your feet. You could see that clear blue water, Rich. I mean, you go up north and north and north. You don't know what you're looking at in the water,
Well, what do you actually think is going to be there? There's going to be sharks,
like
seaweed,
crabs, jellyfish, stuff like even a shark.
Well, listen, sharks have always been there, dude. And just me, I think that going out to the beach, I think you're going to see a shark now, is the same thing as about going out to the beach in 1975. It's just there's more media outlets, there's more shows about sharks, there's more knowledge about sharks. And I think, obviously going back to the thing where, they want to keep us scared about things. Hey, beach weather's coming. Why don't you tell us about the sharks?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aubrey. Congrats on the EDUBBS. I'll say congrats to Murph once he stops dogging the Babe. I knew you were going to hit me with that, Kev, and I truly believe that, bro. Showing Ohtani's a better baseball player than Babe Ruth because Babe Ruth didn't play against the best players in baseball. Whatever, that's how I feel.
Hard to compare the different eras, though, Rich. I mean, it's less teams back then. It's hard. Less travel back then. A lot of intangibles. It's so hard.
Listen, if there was another league right now filled with baseball players. Now the Japanese are pretty good. The Dominicans are pretty good. But if there was another league out there that was completely filled with players that are hitting crazy home runs, throwing the ball 100 miles an hour, digging in, playing baseball, and some of the best players, should have been Hall of Famers, are in this league, and they don't get a chance to play each other because of some stupid rule that they had back in the day, where the Negroes and the whites couldn't play together. So you had the Negro leagues. Dude, some of those players in the Negro leagues were probably 10 times better than Babe Ruth.
You know what, Rich? We never talked about that. I know we're going to do a show about that. Let's do it for the winter. But I agree. But, Kevin had a good point there. They took buses back then. They took trains. They played during the day. There was no night games and stuff. It's a whole different era back then, basically.
You know what? I got to stop doing the comparing thing, man. I'm so used to my son hits me with it all the time, and he's right. Like I wasn't so. I would argue with him all the time, but he was like, back then it was like this, and back then they were tougher, and back then, well, it's not back then now, I guess. So I guess we got apples to apples, I guess. So Aiden really kind of has been bringing me around to that fact that he's not going to bring me around to LeBron too much because of that fact, but I think that he's got a good point where. Hold on a second. What's up, eh?
Curry is the greatest point guard of all time.
He says Steph Curry is. I know that actually. F that guy. Steph Curry is the greatest point guard of all time. We're going to go into Curry a little bit, too, when we talk about the NBA, because there's a documentary coming out about him. But, yeah, I guess I really can't do that anymore, Eric. I really have to start thinking for, what's going on right now, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just want to get back to the beach again, Rich. It was really hot down south. I've been having trouble this summer with the with the air quality up here in the north.
Okay.
Been using my asthma medicine a lot. I haven't been going out too much because I feel like a smoker basically. It feels like I went out lunchtime to a food truck one day and I came in, I was hacking. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm dying. But when I was down south, it was hot as hell, but the air was better down there, actually. I didn't need my medicines or anything like that. It was great, you know, but Ben told me, Dad, I never saw you sweat that much. I mean, it's just pouring. It's crazy, you know. So, but it was good. It was a good trip. You know. So, Rich, I want to ask you a question, okay? So,
sure.
We're in Tampa.
Right.
Actually, the stadium's in St. Petersburg. We're having a nice little lunch. We're in a nice. It was an Asian fusion place, but it was run by Americans. There was not one Asian person in there, but the food was really good. But my point is, we're sitting down. And a table 5 feet from us, maybe 10 feet from us, there were a couple of Tampa Bay Rays eating lunch with us. So what would Murph do? Would Murph eat lunch and not bother them? Or would Murph go up to them and talk to them? What would Murph do?
I 1000%. You have to go up there and talk to them.
Really?
Yes, you have to. Who was that? Who was? You have to go up and talk to them. Yeah, especially since you do a sports show.
It was Harold Ramirez, one of the outfielders for the Rays. A couple other guys I didn't recognize, but
right.
Kevin's really funny tonight. He's got some good stuff. But yeah, no, you know what? When I go into these situations, Rich, we're all human beings. You got to let them eat lunch. You got to let them do their thing. But I agree. Once you hit the ballpark and they're there, it's fair game. You can harass them all you want, basically.
Are they with their families, or are they just three dudes hanging out having burgers?
It was three guys, and there was a girl. I don't know if she was dating one of the guys or what, but there was four people at the table and stuff. And
listen, they're young guys that play for a team that was one of the hottest teams in baseball, but they've lost 11 of their last 14. But you're a young guy playing on a team that's kicking ass. You should be happy that people want to come just say hello to you. I'm not saying go over to them and kiss their ass, or I'm not even saying ask them for an autograph or anything. I'm just, go over and acknowledge the fact that you know who they are. They're young guys. You know, they want to be acknowledged. Not bother them for, have a conversation with, acknowledge them that they're baseball players. We know who you are. It's like, oh, good job, guys. You made the major leagues. Let's have a conversation with them. Not bother them, but, I think, it's kind of cool. I think, maybe, he's 24, I think that kid, right? That you mentioned?
Yeah, about that. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think you'd be out of line asking them just to say hello or anything, but bother them for 20 minutes and, with their family eating and stuff. But a couple of dudes eating burgers, listen, if they're jerks, then fine. But I don't think that, I don't see that. They
just got back from the West Coast. They had a day off. They were just enjoying it. It's a really weird town, St. Petersburg. It doesn't seem like a baseball town at all.
Right.
Most of the fans wearing Orioles stuff, but it was a weird stadium. But I want to talk about Atlanta. Was really cool. And the first thing that Ben said is Uncle Stevie's got to do a clone of what Atlanta did. So Atlanta built the stadium in the suburbs, basically, and they built this thing called the Battery. It's a whole bunch of shops, hotels, restaurants. It was a really cool, little city within a city. People lived there as apartments and stuff. I don't know if I said that. But the parking was great. Great stadium, great location. I'm sure during weeknights with traffic, it might be a little different and stuff. But I thought Atlanta was pretty cool. And we did the tomahawk chop too.
Okay. Now, how did you feel? The fans were the Atlanta Braves fans? Were they fans? Because they got a pretty damn good baseball team there.
Well, the fan base, they're well behaved, Rich. I don't know. It was a Sunday, and I didn't see one person with a beer walking around, basically. And I had to check myself. Are we seeing an alcohol-free section? I didn't see one drunk. I didn't see. I was wearing a Yankees shirt. Nobody said anything. It was just like a friendly atmosphere, basically.
Listen, men. Listen, you know what it is, Eric? Men are so angry with Bud and Bud Light these days that they've actually stopped drinking beer. That's, I think, what it is. It's got to be. They're so angry with Bud and Bud Light that they actually said, you know what, though? I'm really just not even going to drink beer anymore. You know what, though? I'll show you guys. And that's probably what it is.
Yeah. And then I went to the concession stand and I ordered some food. And they told me, oh, we're so sorry. It's going to take 10 minutes to do it. I said, I don't care, 10 minutes, And this woman goes, how can I compensate you for your wait? So I said, oh, I'll take, I'll take a soda, please, whatever. She goes, here, take a soda and take a bag of Cracker Jacks. Can you imagine that at Citi Field in Yankee Stadium?
Never in a million years. Never. Everything's got a price. Everything in New York's got a price.
It was that Southern
baseball players,
hospitality,
food,
you know,
everything.
a little Waffle House and stuff, you know, before the game for breakfast. But you know, we were driving down. We had this big car. We had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. The thing was powerful too. And we stopped at this gas station called Buc-ee's. I don't know if you ever hear of Buc-ee's, Rich.
No.
So Buc-ee's was on 60 Minutes. This guy in Texas built this whatever rest stop gas station. There's like, I'm not lying, Rich. There was 150 gas pumps. You walk inside this place. They make their own food, beef jerky, bakery. It looks like a little Walmart and stuff like that. They have their own label too. They make their own soda. It's really interesting. And the thing that got me, Rich, so there's a town in Georgia, like there's like nothing in these towns basically, you know. But if you're a manager at one of these places, you could pull in $175,000 a year. Can you imagine that?
You know, and I always think about that too. We were way upstate, you know, over last weekend. We were camping way upstate somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you go to these like small towns, like, you know, even like maybe going through like Atlanta, being in the suburbs, like, and you always think like, well, maybe Atlanta's got some money, but like even you go to these small towns, like where do these people work? What's the commerce? Like, you know, we drive to this small town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, you know, if you're not I guess if you're not a teacher or a cop or a fireman or a lawyer or a doctor, like, I guess like, you know, kind of like, you know, lack of a better term, like how do you kind of survive like up there, just like with your day-to-day stuff, like working at the supermarket or your local bar, or your local deli, you know, or your hardware store? Like, I don't know. Like, I always wonder what people do for a living, like, you know, and I understand why, you know, the cost of living, I guess, is a little cheaper because the taxes are less and the houses are less expensive. But, you know, think of it, you know, you live in, you know, 3 hours outside of New York. So I guess that's why. But, you know, I often think like, what do they do for work, you know?
Yeah, don't forget, Rich, with the
thanks,
with
Meg. My sister Megan says happy anniversary. She's on Facebook Live.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget, Rich, when COVID came, a lot of people started working at home. So there's actually people that had these jobs in offices that can now work at home 5 days a week. And they decided to change, you know, the cost of living, move upstate, move down south, do the work, whatever. So we've seen a lot of that now. But I always wonder, too, like driving to Lake George one day and you drive to these little towns, like what do people do up here?
Yeah, it's you know, I mean, I'm sure they're having, you know, this nice, you know, it's nice up there, you know, nice fresh air. But I don't know. It's maybe somebody could enlighten me on what the Kevin just wrote down meth. Either sell or do. I guess that makes sense, Kev, right?
So, yeah, speaking of meth, Rich, we were at the airport getting ready to fly to Atlanta, and there was a gate. Flight was flying to Seattle. Now, flights to Seattle are very odd from Newark, like nonstop, I guess. So they're saying last call, you know, and there's this woman sitting on a chair, and I thought she was dead because they kept announcing and she didn't move, this woman. So one of the women from the gate came up to her and started nudging her. No movement at all. I didn't even know she was breathing. She was wearing like all this clothes. I mean, it was freaking 95 degrees outside Newark and she's wearing all this clothes, but they're trying to shake her and stuff. And I said to Ben, I think she's dead, you know, but
really?
You know, we went about our thing. I'm looking at my iPad, he's playing with his phone. And they said, well, how do we wake her up? And somebody took one of the radios from a worker and they put it right to her ear. She still didn't wake up. So finally her eyes started to open and they kept asking her, you want to flight to Seattle? And she did no response at all. She's just like stoic. So I don't know if she was on something or whatever, but I don't know. I started playing with my phone again. The next thing I know, I looked up and she was gone. So I don't know where she went, but she did miss the flights to Seattle. So that very strange.
Oregon's what do you call? Oregon's a weird, I guess, kind of a weird place, right? I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on up there. You know, they hate the cops up there. You know, they don't want everything to be, you know, they want everything to be free up there. I guess I don't know. You know, believe it or not, it's very it's very inexpensive to get a flight to Portland. Believe it or not,
it was Seattle, Rich. It was Seattle.
Oh, well, what do you call it? Either place. Going to Oregon in general. I was thinking about going to Oregon in the last couple of weeks for something, and I was looking at flights. And, yeah, it's expensive to go out there. And people are very nice in Oregon, too. Very, very nice.
Yeah, very
Thanks
nice.
a lot, Mikey.
Very nice part of the world there.
My buddy, ironworker friend, Mike Pilata, one of the biggest Miami Dolphin fans you're ever going to meet. So once football season
speaking about Miami, Rich, so you've been to that stadium, right?
Yes, I was. I've been there.
You know, that was built on the Orange Bowl. You know that, right?
I do. Yes, I do.
You know,
and I'll tell you right now. Go ahead.
It's like Little Havana. So it's like somebody dropped a stadium right in the neighborhood. It's crazy. No,
Really? Yeah.
nobody spoke English. I drove up to the guy at the parking lot because it's weird because you park it yourself. You buy your parking online. You park yourself. They don't do it. So I said, "Is this where I park?" And the guy, he just like looked at me and he shook his head. He couldn't say anything. And then we're in the stadium and I ordered 2 Diet Cokes and the guy had to call the manager. Very, very strange ballpark. And when we're leaving, there's like 8,000 fans there. And I'm thinking like, the Cuban community is a big baseball community. You would think they would fill the stadium up, 8,000 fans. And it still took me an hour to get to downtown Miami, 3 miles, because the cops closed off every freaking street. So I must have done like six U-turns around the stadium. And I finally come to a police officer and I said, "Excuse me, officer, how do I get out of here?" He goes, "Use your GPS." I said, "I am using my GPS, but it doesn't tell me that the roads are freaking closed, So it took us an hour to get back to the hotel from that place. Oh,
Yeah, but you know what, though, Eric, you know what, though? At the end of the day, you look yourself in the mirror. You're in goddamn Miami. It's beautiful there, dude. Who cares? You got back to your hotel. The beach is there. You go to see a game. Miami is beautiful. Although, from what I hear lately, when you were, I don't know, you and Ben, you guys aren't like the, the hanging out till all hours of the night type. But you guys go down after dark down by South Beach at all?
No, we were at South Beach in the morning. We're morning people. We're
I
down
went
there.
to
Clevelander, all those places. Yep.
Yeah, me, my wife, and the 2 kids, we went down to Miami probably about I don't know, maybe in 22, maybe, or 21. But they, and they'll preface you by saying, like, if you, been to South Beach, like, within the last 10 years, like, it's not really the same,
It changed
without saying what they really wanted to say. Lots of gang violence down there, lots of beautiful cars going up and down, lots of kids riding on bicycles, literally trying to bump into tourists and stuff like that. So I don't know. I used to love going down to South Beach, man. Me and Shannon used to go down there. We used to hit Club Space. Yes, Delray's nice. Absolutely. And the Delano. And my buddy Mike is chiming in on that. But yeah, we used to love going. We'd go to Space, like we'd party all night, Then we'd get up, we'd go to the beach, we'd go to the other, we'd go to the other club on the beach. Then we get on the car and we go down to the, we'd go down to the Keys. We'd have such a nice time. But I don't know, it was a little weird last time we were at Miami. So I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's really beautiful. It's nice, and I'm sure you didn't stay in Miami. Where did you guys stay?
We were downtown. We weren't on Miami Beach. We were downtown Miami. But the funny thing is, Rich, you say it changed. I say it changed too because I couldn't find a pastrami sandwich mile high. Like 30 years ago, there were delis all over the place. Now there's nothing down there really. More of these
pastrami sandwiches in Miami went out with the mob.
Yeah. You know where the pastrami went to? The Hollywood now. They're making their way north now. It's Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. That's where the pastrami is now.
Yeah. So out of those places you were at, what was your favorite place and why?
Definitely Miami. We had a great hotel. It was funny because you and Josh were camping and I called into your show and stuff. And I'm thinking I'm on like the 15th floor hotel looking at the skyline of Miami. And you guys are like camping with mosquitoes and everything around you and stuff. So
yeah, it was definitely fun. Josh texted me today. He's a little mad at me because I guess he thinks the MURF and EDUBBS show is taking precedence over Shooting the Breeze. But listen, Josh, we're a family. We got all this, we got 2 shows to do, and I haven't done a MURF and EDUBBS show in a while.
Yeah. Now, Rich, we did go to Raymond James Stadium where my Buccaneers play. I don't know, never been to a game down there, but I finally got in the stadium and stuff, and it was really cool because we were on that pirate ship, and the woman told us to hold our ears because the cannons are actually going to go off. And what happened? They bust in the rookies. The rookies ran on the field. They did the cannon like 6 times. The rookies ran off the field back in the van and went back to training camp, wherever that is. So I thought that was pretty cool. We got a nice little show that day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty cool. Actually,
and a lot of Tom Brady stuff still up on that stadium, believe it or not.
Because they're hoping he's going to come back, but he's not. He's hanging out with Kim Kardashian and doing his own thing, I guess.
well, he better make a decision soon because you know what? 2 weeks from today, Rich. Not only is it my birthday, I turned 55, but it's the first Jets game. Jets and the Cleveland Browns at the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. So I went on StubHub before. Guess how much the cheapest seat is to this game where Aaron Rodgers will probably not even be 100 miles from the stadium.
If it's more than $150, is it?
About $125, yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of money for a stupid preseason football game. Preseason football is, I don't know. Are you? I don't think we ever discussed this. Are you into the preseason football?
Okay, so This year, the Buccaneers played the Jets in the third preseason game, and I'm
Right.
getting the itch to go to that game if tickets are like,
Really?
reasonable. I'm talking like $20, $25, $15, whatever. And I think that might be the first game that Aaron Rodgers plays as a Jet, the third game, which he'll probably only play like one string anyhow, like one set of downs probably.
All tickets are not doubled. Yeah, I don't, dude. I have no desire to go sit in a stadium and watch a preseason football game with these guys. Look, I just have no desire for it. I'm not saying anything against it, but I think they should first of all cut them to 3, maybe 2. And get rid of all the bullshit because if these guys are getting hurt. But other than that, like I am not a big fan of preseason football.
The fans have to buy the tickets. They charge them on the season ticket plans too. It's crazy.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
It's not even competitive football, basically. It's like you sit, I always watch. I'm so excited because the last time we saw football was February, Rich. And, it starts the preseason and I'm trying to get into these games. And by the time, 5 minutes into the game, I'm already changing the channel.
Yeah, it's boring, dude. I'm not really into it. But listen, before we get into we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to talk about our 40th episode and one of my favorite skits that we do. I like that we do. You have your little 40 bit that you do that significant number 40s.
I really did my homework on this, Rich, because 40 is a very it's a number. It's one of those, you turn 40, it's a big birthday and stuff, you turn 41, nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
So 40 is big. And, next week we'll do Tom Seaver at 41. We'll do his tribute. But did you know if you spell the number 40, Rich, it's the only number in the English language whose letters appear in alphabetical order. Now, I know all you guys are going to start thinking, let me think of a number, you think in your mind. But if you look at it, 40 is the only number that is alphabetical.
Very interesting. Wow. All right. That's cool. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good one. That's going down. That's going in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, here's another one, Rich. When the bubonic plague hit Europe, ships were isolated in the harbor for 40 days before passengers can go ashore. The Italian word for 40, quaranta. In English, it means quarantine. We heard that word a lot, right? The past couple of years.
Wow. All right. Quaranta, huh? Okay.
You like playing Monopoly, Rich? There's 40 spaces on a Monopoly board.
All right. Wow, what else you got?
Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid by the Mets, but he's not on the 40-man roster. The 40 number is the maximum players the teams can assign to its roster in the Major League Baseball.
All right.
Forget 9 months. Pregnancies last 40 weeks. It took chemists 40 attempts to develop a magical spray. Do you know what that spray is, Rich?
Lysol.
No, how about WD-40?
WD-40. Wow. Do you know what WD-40 means?
I'm really on my game tonight, Rich, right?
Yeah. All right.
The number of thieves Alibaba clashed with in literature, of course, is 40. 40 in religion means a long time. Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness. Being tempted by the devil. The Great Flood lasted 40 days, 40 nights. And the Jews wandered the desert for 40 years. So 40 is a very popular number in terms of biblical terms.
Wow. Spike Lee, one of the great directors. His company is called 40 Acres and a Mule. I guess we all know what the history behind that is.
Yeah. And I think there's Kevin having a 40 ouncer there.
Yes, he says and Kevin, you are absolutely right. There is 40 ounces in a 40 ounce of beer. You're absolutely right. I drank many of those as a kid.
If you think 40 is a lot, please see the standard work week, which sometimes becomes 80, like in my situation. But I try to get to 40.
Just so you're aware, I have a video on right now. Yes, I do. It's pointing at me right now. I'm sorry, I got very distracted. If I just told you what my wife was doing.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, go ahead. I just got very distracted. Go ahead. Yes, I do. No, actually, yes, I do have about 40 wife beaters. You're absolutely right, Kev.
So here's something you can tell Shannon. 40 years of marriage is the Ruby wedding anniversary.
Wow.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
40 is the number of positions on a... I'm sorry?
On the Kama Sutra?
Oh, no. 40 is the number of positions on a few radio countdown programs, most notably the American Top 40 with Casey Kasem, right?
America's Top 40, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 40 is a 1983 song by YouTube. U2, not
Hey,
YouTube.
bro.
From the War album. Yep. Zirconium
Wow.
is atomic number 40, a metal exceptionally resistant to common corrosion and high temperatures. The Islamic mourning period is 40 days. 40 is the highest number ever counted on Sesame Street. How about that, Rich? I'm really a lot of stuff about
Why?
40 here, right?
Why is 40 the highest number counted on Sesame Street? What?
I don't know. Ask
People
them.
people
Why they never got to
count
41?
past 40?
I don't know.
What, the count can't count past 40?
I guess not. 40 is the third point gained in a game of tennis. I can never understand that scoring system. Ronald Reagan, of course, the 40th president, jelly beans. 1967, he stopped a smoking habit, turned to licorice jelly beans. His favorite. You like licorice jelly beans, Rich?
No, not at all.
Ugh,
Not at all. I
they are
like
the
strawberry
worst, right?
licorice. Ugh, black licorice is terrible tasting.
Yeah, nicknamed Dutch from his childhood haircut. He was an actor whose last movie was The Killers in 1964. Partly lost his hearing in one ear when a gun went off on a movie set in the 1930s. Started his career as a Democrat, but had grown conservative in the 50s and declared Republican in 1962. First president to have been divorced. Most important role was saving 77 lives in the summers he spent as a lifeguard. How about that?
Reagan did?
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I like that.
Okay, the 40th state. Any clue what that is?
The 40th state, Wisconsin.
No, you're close. South Dakota. The leader
South
in cattle
Dakota?
and hog. What's that?
South Dakota?
Yeah. The leader in cattle and hog production. Unlike North Dakota, tourism is a major industry in South Dakota with such attractions as Mount Rushmore, Wind Cave National Park, Badlands National Park, and Jewel Cave.
Okay.
No major sports in South Dakota, but there are 4 minor league sports teams. The most popular sports are fishing and hunting, of course. And now we turn to our number 40 in sports. Not too many number 40s I could think of, but Don Wilson, the 1971 National League All-Star who pitched 2 no-hitters with the Houston Astros, who actually accidentally died while coming home with a alcohol level 0.16 one night, 0.67 alcohol level. He parked his car in the garage, shut the door, and fell asleep, and he died of carbon monoxide poisoning. The Astros retired his number, of course. He was a great pitcher with them. Danny Murtaugh, the most successful Pirates manager, wore number 40. Basketball, bad boy, Bill Laimbeer. Remember the Nasty Boys, Rich?
I do. Absolutely. Of course. Absolutely. It's a great documentary on him. Absolutely.
Were they the Nasty Boys were the Reds bullpen. Who were the Pistons? What were they called? I forget
The
what they were
Pistons?
called.
The Pistons were
They were the Bad Boys or something? I forget what they were called.
Bad Boys, yeah.
The Bad Boys, yeah, exactly. Gale Sayers, the Kansas Comet, first-round pick of the Bears in 1965, scored 22 touchdowns as a rookie, scored 6 touchdowns in a game, the most recently broken by Alvin Kamara. He wore number 40, short career hampered by knee injuries. And the most important number 40, Rich, Pat Tillman. How's that?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my! I forgot about that. Yes, absolutely. Bad Boys. There you go, Chris. What's up, Chris?
Yeah.
My boy, Chris.
People do not realize what Pat Tillman did. Pat Tillman turned down a contract to go fight for the country, basically, and of course lost his life in friendly fire, basically. But there's a lot of stories about Pat Tillman. And, I guess after 9/11, that's what drove him to the military.
Yeah, it's a sad story. I mean, the guy turned down a big football contract to go fight for his country, and look what happened. I guess what some say it was actually friendly fire. I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, and that's it for the number 40. But one more thing about the number 40, Rich: will the Oakland A's win 40 games this year, or the Kansas City Royals get to 40?
The Oakland A's will not. The Kansas City Royals will. On that note, EDUBBS, this is a sports show, right?
Yep.
Now, we're going to get into sports. We're going to talk about the major leagues. We're going to talk about the Mets. We're going to talk about the Yankees. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff going on. We got trade deadline stuff coming up. But a segue into my conversation right now. I've been hearing all week on all platforms, the fan and everything like that. Yep. You, Mr. EDUBBS, Yankee fan. Me, MURF, I am a Mets fan. Trade deadline coming up. I offer you this trade right now, straight up. Money changes hand, nothing else. Max Scherzer for Giancarlo Stanton. As a Yankee fan, do you do that?
I heard that trade, Rich. I don't think I want to do that because Stanton's very streaky, and when he starts hitting those home runs, it's going to be like he goes into those tears and stuff. And you know what? I think Stanton is the only guy in the Yankees I'm even including Aaron Judd. Stanton's the only guy that rises to the occasion in October. Harrison Bader showed it last year, but Bader's always hurt. He's always, but Stanton has shown promise in the playoffs as a Yankee over the past couple of years. I don't want anything to do with Max Scherzer.
So, well, that being said, the answer to my question is I would do that. I would do that in a second. And listen, you know how I feel about Max Scherzer. I think he's a gamer. I actually also think that he's lost not one step, not two steps, but he's probably lost about 6 steps. And I'm tired of watching him go out there, being all Mr. Mad Max Scherzer and going out there and just blowing the game. Because why we got to go? Why do we have stars that could blow the game when the Mets have a? I feel like it's. I kind of feel like it's kind of like Groundhog Year or something, because the bullpen and the New York Mets. If I have to watch them roll out Drew Smith one more time, if I have to watch them roll out John Doe or Phil I Suck or any of those guys, the whole. Our starting pitching is less than mediocre. So when we have a less than mediocre starters and you have a shit bullpen and Edwin Diaz is on the mend somewhere, the Mets are not going anywhere. Guys, if we have any kind of hopes or dreams for even like a wild card or winning a division or something, it's gone, because we can't pitch and we only kind of hit, it seems like we only kind of hit when we want to. Why is Daniel Vogelbach still on the team? Why? Look, I'm going to say it. Here we go. I'm going to say it. Met fans are probably going to kill me for it. I know my son's going to kill me for it. What are we doing with Jeff McNeil? What are we doing? The guy can't play. He can't play the field. Okay. He made another error today. He's a less than mediocre second baseman. And the guy is there because he won the batting title last year. All right. First off, the guy's not hitting singles or doubles. He's not hitting home runs. He's striking out or he's grounding out. So what are we doing, Jeff McNeil? What are we doing here with him? Jeff McNeil is this close to saying, just go or trade him. Trade bait. The guy could go hit 300 somewhere else. Whatever. Okay. What are we doing with Jeff McNeil? I don't know. Anybody have an answer for me?
Yeah, that was my question, Rich. Are the Mets going to be buyers or sellers?
That's what I want to ask you. Okay. The Mets being buyers or sellers. Okay. Now look. The Mets are in a position right now where I guess you could say that they're similar to the Yankees now as far as with their money. I'm not saying with their fandom and stuff like that. Obviously that the Yankees are a more popular team than the Mets. I understand that. But when you talk about money, monetary situation, I don't think Steve Cohen has it in him to say, let's just throw our hands up or without throwing money at something. I think maybe that if he throws a little money at it now, and nothing happens, I think then you clean house. But I think come trade deadline, I think that this guy's really going to try and make a go for it, okay? I really do, because I would package McNeil in a deal. I would package McNeil. I would package Canna. I'm not saying I'm going to get. I would package the two of them in a deal for some decent middle relief. That's what I would do.
Right. You got to do that. You got to get guys, too, that have years before they become free agents and stuff. I heard something strange, Rich. Pete Alonso traded, huh? No,
dude, that's silly. It's a rumor. I don't know who started that rumor. Pete Alonso's not going anywhere. If they trade Pete Alonso, I'm going to stop watching baseball. There's no way. If the Mets trade Pete Alonso, are you out of your mind, dude? That's like, what about if the Yankees trade Judge?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, Alonso's not making any money, right?
Yeah, but he's gonna be, and if they don't they better offer him the key to the city when they give him.
Well,
when they give
made
him
more money if Randy Myers Sr. wasn't pitching to him at the home run derby. That's where he makes his money on the home run derby.
How embarrassing is that?
Is it contract next year, Rich, or after this year? When's he a free agent?
I think it's next year. He has a arbitration, I think, year or something like that. But I think he's up for a big contract.
I heard a wacky story. The wacky story was. Like the Yankees did with Aroldis Chapman. The Yankees traded Aroldis Chapman to Chicago, and he came back and signed with the Yankees. So if Alonso gets traded and there's a gentleman's agreement that he'll sign with the Mets come 2025, would you accept that?
No, because you know why? There's no gentleman's agreements anymore. Nobody's a gentleman anymore. Everybody's out for themselves. There's no gentleman's agreement. No, Pete Alonso, either stay a Met or just go. And you know what, though? Look at Pete Alonso. He doesn't want to leave New York, dude. I don't know who's starting these rumors. There's no way that was even spoken about that Pete Alonso is going to get traded from the New York Mets. It's silly, dude. Silly. I'm not saying it to you, but I've heard it all week. And I'm like, will you shut up with the trade Pete Alonso stuff? He's not going anywhere. That guy's the polar bear, and he's going to be the face of the New York Mets for at least the next 10 years. And if he goes, the entire energy and the entire whatever we have left as an organization as hope and just like, I'm not even saying he's the best player on the team. I'm saying he's a personality that's needed in New York. And if he leaves the Mets, no way. It's not happening, dude.
Yeah, I figured so. Plus, he's having an off year. Face it. He's not. His stats don't look that great, but he's like the face of the franchise right now, Rich. Right? You got to build a team around Pete Alonso, like the Yankees do around Judge.
He is. And look, and if it wasn't for this kid in Arizona and Ellie De La Cruz, dude, I don't know about you. You're not a Mets fan, but even you're a baseball fan. Do you ever watched Francisco Alvarez play baseball?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I have. He just has to play every day.
And that's the thing. He is playing every day now. It seems like the guy can hit a home run at any point.
Yep. But defensively,
he's learning. I'm fine with the way he's defensively catching. Fine.
Yep.
I don't think that guy.
On the Yankees. Any day with the Yankees catching situation. I mean, the Yankees are out there. They're talking about trading for a catcher. I don't know who goes, Higgy or Trevino, but yeah, the Yankees catching sucks. I mean, the Mets catching, they had Gary Sanchez for a week, basically, whatever happened to that. But yeah, no, I like this kid. I like the Mets young. I think the Mets have better young guys than the Yankees have in their system. I do like this guy, Drew Thorpe, who's pitching for the Renegades. It seems like every time I go to a Renegades game, this kid pitches. And I heard about his name being tossed around in the possible Ohtani trade. Now, what do you think about Ohtani, Rich? What do you think about that? Do you think he'll be traded?
I'm very happy that you brought this to my attention. Mm-hmm. Okay, Shohei Ohtani. Okay, first off, I heard the Mets aren't even looking at him or whatever, but if Francisco Alvarez is involved in that trade, it's a straight, hard no. I don't even care if it's Shohei Ohtani. It's a straight, hard no. And I don't even care if Ohtani says I'm going to sign for the next 10 years. We have a future catcher. You don't see guys like him come around. That's A, okay? B, okay? Everybody's saying that you trade for Ohtani, then you're going to have to give him money, and how much money is going to this, and how much money is that. Let's just say arbitrarily, the Mets they trade, and they get a really good deal, and they sign Ohtani, and Ohtani says, before I get the trade goes through, I want a contract. So Stevie Cohen says, you know what, Shohei, you're the best player in baseball. You're kind of young. I'm going to give you a 10-year, $650 million contract. Okay. Now, to the average person, that sounds pretty crazy, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, let me tell you why it doesn't sound crazy. Because if you give this guy $650 million, okay, let's just say that's over the course of 10 years. So let's just say you're paying him $60 million a year. Let's just go with that number of let's even give him $65 a year. Okay. Do you know the monetary influence he is going to have across not only the United States, the world, the entire Asia is going to be wearing New York Mets Shohei Ohtani jerseys. People in Seattle, people in California, $1 billion is going to go just in his goddamn jersey sale, dude. So to give a player like Shohei Ohtani $650 million, which sounds completely outrageous to the fan, dude, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're the Mets, and you know the Mets, you can make fun of them, how they don't draw, or on a random Tuesday night, there's only they say there's 20, but there's only 7. There will be 46,000 people in that stadium every single night, at least for the first year at Citi Field. And 6 months, that $600 million contract pays for itself. After that, everything else is gravy, dude. And you have the best player in baseball. So you're talking about getting rid of top prospects? That's what I'm wary about. Give the guy $1 billion. I don't care. The amount of money he's going to generate for his prospective team is unfathomable. Because they love him in Japan, dude. The money is going to be unfathomable. Give him $700 million. Who cares?
Yeah, and it all happened with Mike Trout getting hurt that he became on the market again because the Angels are doing pretty good. We saw what they did to the Yankees this week, and actually the Angels are in a pretty good position for a wild card, so they might not even trade Ohtani. But then again, they run the risk of losing him at the end of the season, getting nothing, So it's going to be interesting. We're just 11 days away from the magic August 1st date. And I don't know what's going to go down. I know the Yankees might do something, and I think the Yankees might do a Nolan Arenado trade, which would they take on the money, and they give nothing up basically because it's the Cardinals just wanting to sell him. I can't believe the Cardinals being sellers. For all the years the Cardinals are like the best team, they never sell, but I think this is the year they sell.
Yeah. See, Lewis, you think they're going to sell both of them?
I don't know. It's crazy. I like what Kevin said. Juan Soto. I would take Juan Soto in a second.
I would take Juan Soto in a second out in right field. But again, that's all we're talking. Like, listen, Juan Soto, again, he's a good player, but he's taken a couple steps back. I mean, when Juan Soto takes a couple steps back, he becomes an average player, a better than average player.
It's a hard ballpark to hit in.
But he's not. But he's. Look, last year I was not that I was reluctant to say Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. I'm not reluctant, but I was still a little skeptical because, oh my God, this guy comes in from Japan. He's pitching, he's striking people out, he's hitting home runs. But this year, dude, it hands down, they should just give him the MVP for both leagues.
And Cy Young, right?
Yeah. The MVP, Cy Young, whatever, Offensive Player of the Year. Well, you don't got to spread it around when there's one guy that's doing everything. What do you got to spread it around so you don't hurt anybody's feelings? No, give the guy every award. The guy has 2 games this season where he hits at least a home run and strikes out more than 9 batters. He's done that twice this year.
Did you see, Rich, at one time his batting average was higher than his ERA? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And why do you? Let me ask you a question. Why do you think that is? That's a different question. You're Shohei Ohtani. You're the best player in baseball right now.
Yep.
What's going through your mind? Like, what do you think goes through an Asian baseball player's mind when he thinks about contracts? Like, do you think about like he wants to? Because I'm assuming listen. It's the same all over the world. You want to win. You want to be the best. I don't care if you're living in a shack somewhere in Mexico. You still want to be the best and win.
Sure.
Where do you go if you're Shohei Ohtani?
Well, he's thinking East Coast, West Coast, but nothing in the middle. I guarantee you that.
But I'm not even talking about right now. I'm not talking about geography. I'm just talking about you as the best player in baseball doing the best thing for you to go win a championship. What team do you think? It doesn't even have to be a team that's in the hunt for him. Just what team do you think that he goes to and just makes a significant difference and boom, he wins that chip?
Well, I would think the Dodgers.
No, I don't think the Dodgers do. Dodgers can't win. What have the Dodgers won? Let's go back in history besides 1988. What have the Dodgers won, dude?
Yeah,
they won in 2020.
They won the COVID
year.
Series. That was about
COVID year. They won the COVID World Series. They won the COVID World Series after 5 and 6 years in a row. They were supposed to win the World Series, but yet they go in for a 60-game season and they win that World Series. No, the Dodgers are not winners. They're losers.
So losers. What team are you thinking about, Rich? What team?
To win a World Series right now? Go to the Reds, man. Go to the Reds. Again, look, Eric, I know there's not enough money in Cincinnati, whatever, but go to the Reds. Go to Baltimore.
That's a good
one. Go to Baltimore.
Yeah.
Bring that city back. Bring that city a World Series. Dude, could you imagine if Shohei Ohtani somehow found out a way to get to Baltimore?
Crazy.
Oh, my God.
They're playing right now, Rich. I mean, they passed the Rays last night. They're a couple of percentage points, and they're playing the Rays tonight, actually, the Orioles.
No, they're in first place.
They sure are. And the Rays got off to that big start, too. They played the shitty teams and stuff. And but I said they'd come back down to earth. And meanwhile, the Yankees had that easy schedule. The Yankees couldn't get out of that easy schedule they just had, losing to the Cubs and Angels and whoever else they were losing to. It just doesn't make any sense. You got to win those games. The schedule's different this year, Rich. I think the trading deadline is going to be different because the schedule's you don't play your division opponents anymore now. You finish with them now, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I would go there. I'd go to Cincinnati. Cincinnati has not only do they have Ellie De La Cruz, they have legit young stars in that town. Same with Arizona. I'm not saying go to Arizona to win, but
I put on Facebook a couple of weeks ago Matt McClain. He's not chopped liver, this guy either. They got some crop of rookies between the Reds and the Orioles. They got really good player developmental staff.
But that's what I'm saying. But why though? Like, is do you think it's just like we're just going to take a chance on this guy? We're going to take a chance on that guy. Why is their homework done? And some teams get the guy, some teams don't get the guy.
I guess it helps that they had some bad records over the years, that they get the top 5 draft picks every year. I think by doing that, look what Tampa did too. Being a crappy team. So I don't think the Yankees are going to tank for 5 years, Rich, and get these top. I really don't think they're going to tank, but. No. They're eventually going to have to. It's going to cave in. I mean, you're going to have no farm system. You're going to be losing 100 games a year. I mean, Steinbrenner's not spending money, and they put these contracts out there. Stanton contract, he's got, another 5 years with the Yankees. Garrett Cole's got another, 6 or 7 years. It's crazy. Josh Donaldson, he's on the 60-day disabled list. His Yankee career's over. Thank God.
And again, I don't understand what they're doing. They're sitting in the dugout. They're laughing. They're yucking it up. I mean, look,
you know what? Gleyber Torres, the guy is, you got to get him. He's like never serious, always joking around. Reminds me of Robinson Cano, actually. Cano he was the same type of player. He's always joking around, never hustling, bonehead plays in the field and stuff. I mean, Gleyber Torres is the cancer to this team right now. People don't realize. I mean, he's the only one that's hitting lately. So I guess kind of, give him, the benefit of the doubt because he is kind of like driving in runs, which the Yankees probably get shut out every night. But I just got to get him off the team. He just lackadaisical. I can't stand him anymore.
Yeah. I mean, but he's always been that guy though. Like everybody was so excited when he came up, right? But then he comes up.
Yeah.
He comes up.
Top 5 prospects in baseball. The Yankees actually sold that year. They sold all their players. They brought in Gleyber Torres, and they brought in that guy Clint Frazier, who, he was supposed to be great too. Look what happened to him.
Wait, he's out of baseball, right?
No, he's playing for some team. I think I saw him with the White Sox last, or the Cubs, one of those 2 teams.
Well, he wasn't playing for the White Sox because the Mets were playing the White Sox the last couple of days.
Maybe the Cubs he was playing for. Yeah. Somewhere he's playing, or maybe he's in the minors.
That big head of red hair.
Yeah, remember that?
He's a little bit of a weird guy, though, from what I understand. It's like some of the stuff he says about, well, he's not a weird guy. Maybe he's an honest guy.
Yeah,
talking about how
he worked his way on the Yankee roster by talking like that, Rich. He was a really he made himself out to be like he was a star the way he was talking and stuff. And
he was bitter, man. He was bitter, man.
Yeah, very, very.
Hey, but you know what?
He gave him every opportunity too. I don't know why he's bitter, right?
That's the thing. Like, if you're bitter, that's fine. But have you done anything since then?
It's like, what have you done for me lately?
None. Have you done anything?
Nothing.
Look, I get it. You're a Major League Baseball player, but do something. Like, if you're going to talk like you're this big guy, a big home run hitter, and the Yankees screwed me, and they never gave me a chance, and this, that, and the other thing. Okay, so you've been to 2 more teams now, and you really, where's this guy's name? Thinking he's like a big home run hitter or a big player. He's not doing anything.
He is on the White Sox, Rich. He's on the bench, though.
Listen, I watched every inning of both games yesterday, and I listened to some of today, and I didn't hear his name once. So that shows you how good Clint Frazier is doing.
Nope. Yeah, he's batting 197 this year. No home runs, so he's doing really good this year. I'm surprised he didn't make the All-Star game. Hey, Rich, did you watch the All-Star game last week?
Did I watch the All-Star game? I watched a little bit of it, I guess. I mean,
uniforms. I like when they used to wear their old uniforms, the players.
Eric,
their team uniforms, I should say.
Nothing was like the All-Star game. Let's just pick a year, 1983 or 86 even, or 79. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing was like that. And you know the reason why, and I know the reason why, and you know the reason why, because of television coverage. Like I said, look at you. You're a Yankee fan, all right? So you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Let's just say that you were a Tampa Bay Ray fan, for lack of a conversation, okay? Sure. You would never in a million years get to see your stars play on TV. But July 7th, Tuesday night, you would get to see your guy that played for Tampa, or your guy that played for the California Angels, or your guy that you would get to see him in his uniform representing. So it's not like it's going to be, we see him all the time now. But like back then, it was like you get to see that uniform. It's like they represent your team. It's like, damn, it's like, there's my guy. Unfortunately, I'm a Met fan growing up, so I really have had not too many Men All-Stars. But you know what I'm saying? Like when but that's when it meant something. I think it's a yuck fest now. You know what I mean? Like, you go, they all hang out with their buddies, which is fine, because it has to be done. But I like the home run derby. I really do. And I think because of, what's his name there? Pete Alonso was mad. But whatever. It's okay. But bottom line is it's okay.
I didn't like the split screen for the home run derby. That threw me a little off. I just like, I like just the one angle where the guy hits it, and they have the kids in the outfield and one kid just face planted. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. Did you see was it the Yankee game last week where somebody fell onto the field?
I think it was the Mets game or one of the games I saw, and he had his hands up, right?
Yeah, because I guess they thought he was trying to rush the field, but he was like, no, he's got his hands up. No, I fell.
Did you see the other night? Guy ran on the field and was running towards Anthony Volpe, and he threw a T-shirt at him, and the guards came from all four angles and just, they just blasted the guy. They broadsided him. Crazy.
Oh that's unbelievable.
What the hell's that all about?
What do you call it? And you know what? I got a little sidetracked. I was going to mention to you something about having a favorite baseball player.
Oh yeah.
Now listen, it's in. You know me, how sometimes I have a Ken Griffey jersey. I love Ken Griffey Jr. I love Nolan Ryan. I always talk about Bob Gibson. Like Bob Gibson, I never was able to watch him play.
Andy Koufax,
but this is like certain guys, through the history, even when I was a kid, I always had their baseball cards. I can tell you, I love Albert Bell. I love Ken Griffey Jr. I love Nolan Ryan. And those are three baseball players that I can say off the top of my head are probably my favorite baseball players. And I'm going to add another name to this list, and it just hit me the other day. And it's going to sound weird because I've never had a favorite player play for my team. Now, I'm going to say his name right off the bat. I love Francisco Lindor, dude. And I know it's not a popular sentiment among Mets fans, but I'm just I like rookie Cleveland Indian Francisco Lindor. I like second-year Francisco Lindor. I like Puerto Rican Francisco Lindor playing on the Puerto Rican national team. I like Met Francisco Lindor. I love him as a baseball player, dude, because listen, he doesn't do Jeter stuff. He's not Derek Jeter. I know that's blasphemy to say, but little things that he does on the field that get he makes less error. He doesn't make errors to a point where when he makes an error, I find myself, dude, what are you doing? You made an error? Because it hit me the other night. I'm like, when he made an error, I think last week or something. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? But I pointed out the fact that the guy made an error. The guy is a spot-on fielder. He's a spot-on teammate. And if you don't think that guy has almost 100% of trying to keep that locker room together between the players, you're crazy, and you're not looking at what he's doing in the other night, for instance. That what do you call it? I was watching the game. Was it last night? There was a pitch clock violation, right? Umpire comes out, calls a pitch clock violation. Before Buck Showalter even says anything, what's his name hit the ball out to right field, and the ball got caught. It was a beautiful catch. He caught the ball, rolled over. His wrist was hurting him a little bit. I guess the pitcher was giving him a little time to get up. So, point of the matter is, pitch clock's still going. The players are wandering around. Nimmo's ready to hit. Calls a pitch clock violation because the pitcher wasn't ready to hit. But you know what, though? Lindor was the first one to jump up out of his seat and say he was waiting for the guy out in right field, arguing with the umpire. And then Buck finally said, stop. But little bullshit things like that he sees on the field. Or whether it's grabbing Brett Beatty last week when Brett Beatty went 0 for 4 and he struck out 3 times. Whether it's sitting with him on a bench saying, I strike out all the time, dude. And Brett Beatty's playing great now. Francisco Lindor does a lot of things that people don't see. And I think, and even going back to the days of when I watched an interview with him playing shortstop on how when he was a young shortstop in the league, he used to want to talk to the pitchers and want to know where the pitchers were setting up, or he would talk to the catcher and want to know what the signs were. And the catchers, why would you want to know what the signs were? Because he'd be like, I want to know what pitch is coming because I know where to set my body. Just little things like that, just of being a baseball player. Like Francisco Lindor is right up there now he's one of my all-time favorite baseball players, and he gets a lot of heat from Met fans, and he gets a lot, but baseball-wise, the guy's he's just a spot-on great baseball player, a spot-on great guy for the game. He's great for the game too, man.
Yeah, I got a Francisco Lindor story. We went to the Mets game last year. There was a runner on first base. I think it was the Nationals the Mets were playing, right. And fast guy on first base. The guy up hits a little line drive to Lindor. What does Lindor do? He drops it, and he gets the guy out at second base, the guy that was fast, and that's the slow runner got on first base. So that's the stuff. It's like he's in the game, and that's
not stuff that's taught. That's stuff that he's I just split decisions.
And that's a total 180 from Gleyber Torres. different,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, you could tell Lindor's focus. I mean, Lindor could be a manager one day. He's got the qualities. He's a baseball guy.
Yo, last week watching I forgot who they were playing. Last week, the infield's playing in all four. I think it was the bottom of the ninth. It was something or whatever. But infield is playing in. There was one out. I forgot who. I think they're playing the Dodgers. But Lindor's playing in. The ball was Muncy. It was smashed by Muncy to Lindor. A ground ball hit really hard. Lindor picked it up, playing short, flipped it to second, flipped it to first, ends the game on a double play, playing short on a ball smashed at him by Max Muncy because he was playing up because he knew he could make the double play and end the game. And it was confident too. It wasn't like it was he knew exactly. He got the ball. He went to second to first. Game over. It's like he just does a lot. And even Kevin says, I know Kevin's a Yankee fan. And he's a ball player. He is a ball player, and that's always why I loved Derek Jeter. Because he's a ball player. I like baseball players. And, I like these guys that go out there and they don't give a shit about what's going on around. They're just going to go and they're going to play baseball. And Lindor is always smiling. The guy's always happy. He's always talking to everybody. But the guy's a ball player. And you know what, though? The guy shows up every single day, never takes a day off, ever.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, he played 161 games last year, only missed one game. And this year he missed a game when his wife had a baby, right? Is that the only game he missed?
Yeah, and his wife told him to go to the field.
Yeah, he showed up.
She got to watch him here.
Right? He was at the
showed up at the ballpark because we'll kick him out.
What do you think?
And he's a super nice guy, too.
He's destined for the Hall of Fame or no? What do you think?
Oh, yes. Well, come on. With the crop of people that are getting in the Hall of Fame now, and not even comparatively to that, just like him as a baseball player, absolutely he's in the Hall of Fame, dude.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Listen. He's got the numbers right now. He's only 29 years old too. So if he keeps it up,
I just foresee him like he's another one that can't go anywhere. He can't go anywhere either because he's just a big part of that keeping that morale. And again, I know the morale is not really that good in the Mets right now. I understand that, but there are a couple players that are trying to keep it together. Who thought Tommy Pham would have been playing this good?
He might get traded too. Tommy Pham. He's got good trade. He could be good trade bait, I was going to say.
I guess. And they're talking about Vogelbach getting traded to the Yankees. What do you think about that?
Oh, no. Stop already. You know what? Getting back to the Yankees, Rich, and I heard a conversation about this. What do you think about Giancarlo Stanton making the Hall of Fame? He's got 390 home runs right now. Figure if he can get to 500, it's a shoo-in, basically. What do you think?
He's not Big Papi, so no. He's a DH. He's a glorified DH at this point, so no, he's not a Hall of Famer.
I don't. 500 home runs. 500 home runs. No.
I guess that's your standard. I guess if he hits 500, I guess you put him.
Bell have over 500 home runs, right? He's got over 500, right?
But he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I said. Yeah. So maybe it's not the ticket anymore. 500 home runs.
Well, also Albert Bell was one of the meanest human beings on the planet, but he should be in the Hall of Fame as listen, if he gets 500 home runs, I guess you got to put him in, right?
But he's only at 127 as a Yankee and stuff. But here's another thing: like, how much longer do you think they're going to give Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman? Steinbrenner just loves Cashman. I don't get it.
Well, there's got to be something in there where there's got to be some kind of promissory note or something like that. That because I guess the old man loved Cashman, right?
It's ridiculous. And I think, either Carlos Beltran or Don Mattingly will be the next manager of the Yankees. I don't think this can go on. Aaron Boone, I don't know. First of all, he lost the team. The team, it's totally in disarray right now. The bullpen was the Achilles heel, but even the guys in the pen are giving up runs now. The starting pitching was, look at Rodon. Rodon's getting hit around. You see, he blew a kiss last night to the Yankee fans in the stands. You see that?
He's blowing kisses to the Yankee fans. You just paid this guy almost $200 million. He gets hurt, and then he's blowing kisses. He gets out in 4.1 with a terrible outing, and he's blowing kisses to the Yankee fans.
He's throwing batting practice. Last night he was throwing. Well, first couple of games. I mean, look at the Colorado too. I mean, Colorado, they took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. I mean, that's inexcusable. You can't do that. It's just like, I don't know, this Yankee team. They better turn around fast. I mean, we're on July 20th already. There's 2 months left in the season. If they want to do something, I mean, I understand they need Aaron Judge back. I mean, Judge is the catalyst. He's like the star. They're saying August 1st now. I don't know. I never hurt my toe that bad. I don't know. I guess with the big toe, it controls your running and stuff like that. So, but they definitely need Judge back because this is just lethargic. Anthony Rizzo hasn't hit a home run since the Donald Trump presidency, it seems. I mean, he was having a great, the Yankees really have to do some housekeeping this offseason. I don't know what's going to happen.
They were breaking Anthony Rizzo's chops the other day because Anthony Rizzo's got some kind of charity where for every home run he hits, I can think they donate like $100,000 or something to some crazy charity. And they were breaking his chops the other day. I was like, maybe it should have picked another baseball player to run their charity because this guy's not hitting any home runs.
Oh my God! Seriously, right? Yeah, I agree. Judge is Reggie Jackson. Judge stirs the drink. We saw Judge carry the Yankees last year, and without Judge this year, it's been nothing. So hopefully he gets back soon and stuff. But can't come back soon enough. It's just like ridiculous already. But you put the Yankees in the AL Central. They're in first place, Rich. So go figure.
Eric, I don't think Judge is coming back, dude.
You don't think he's coming back, huh?
Dude, a toe. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was a toe, he would have been out for a couple of weeks. But I'm not saying it's a toe. But if it was just his toe, he'd be out for a couple of weeks, like bending it. But I think there's something going on there. I think like he ripped his toe ligaments or something. I think they're not. I think they're not telling us like really, really like what happened.
Well, he's taking batting practice. He's running around the field and stuff. But we'll see. I don't know. I know. It didn't seem like a bad injury when he made that catch, and stuff.
No.
Crazy.
No, it didn't. Well, bottom line is with these Mets and Yankees, like we're both playing mediocre baseball at best. I don't foresee my team even making a wild card unless they make some kind of stupid run or they do some crazy stuff by the trade deadline. I just really don't see. I just don't see them doing anything really. To be completely honest with you, I don't even know who's going to win the World Series this year, dude. I really don't. It's like kind of like it's all over the place.
I watch a lot of games, Rich. You really got to watch out for the Texas Rangers. Texas is playing great ball.
So happy they're doing it without DeGrom.
With Astros injuries and stuff. But yeah, Texas is really playing good ball.
But doesn't it sound crazy to even pick a team like Texas, Cincinnati, Baltimore, or Arizona to say you're hanging your hat on those guys winning the World Series? Although it could happen, it just sounds weird though, right?
Yeah, because, every year it seems like the same old teams in the playoffs. And, we might not see the Yankees. We might not see the Mets. We might not see the Padres. They're another team that's struggling, the Padres, Rich. They were supposed to be, the cream of the National League West. Look at them.
Kev, I'm sorry. I saw you called those 3 times, and every time I hit the button, for some reason, your name goes away, and I don't get you on. I'm not screening you or silencing you. I'm trying to get you on, but every time I hit the button, it goes away. I don't know what's going on.
Kevin wants to talk about a team worth $6 billion.
Wait, is that new toe growing injury? Be careful. Ernie's that chiming in on
about the Redskins
on Facebook Live. What's that? Yeah. All right. So what else? So we got anything else you want to talk about with baseball related? Let's see. I got a couple of notes here that I wanted to. Ellie De La Cruz, Corbin Carroll.
Did you see Cruz's throw to first base, Rich? He threw it like 97 miles an hour.
Unbelievable, dude.
Did you see that?
Absolutely unbelievable. Hold on a second. Let's get Kev here. Let's see anybody. Oh, there it goes.
Hey, here he is.
Hey,
AUBZ.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey, what's happening, Kev? How are you?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on a year.
Thank you, sir.
That's a big moment there.
Yeah. It's ironically our 40th episode coincided with our 1-year anniversary, and we just realized that today. So that's awesome, dude. And you've been a part of it the whole time, Kev.
Well, like 98% of the time.
You're a rat pack.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. But what are you up to? How's everything going? Listen, I saw on that Facebook post there. It seems like you got a little defensive about my Babe Ruth comment.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, why are you getting on the Babe, man? Like, what'd he ever do to you?
Nothing. He's never done anything for me either.
It's like you were like, I don't know, trying to shit or something. It was just odd, You're like trying to discredit his accomplishments of some sorts,
Because he has more rings than the Mets do.
Yeah, and listen, the grainy photos. Did he really hit all those home runs?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, maybe you could have cut that. I don't know. Listen, Babe Ruth was great. I get it. But Shohei Ohtani's just playing on such a higher level, than like anybody else that's ever played in the entire, history of the sport right now.
Well, he's playing on a level of someone in the history of the sport.
Well, who? Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds.
Well, Barry Bonds never pitched, so
true.
You can't
Listen,
throw him in the mix.
and I've really never seen Babe Ruth pitch. You know, with that video, it could have been Satchel Paige dressed in a fat suit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, you never know. Satchel Paige could say, "Listen, I want to play in the big leagues with all the big guys." Like, you know, it's like I'll put a Babe Ruth suit on and I'll pitch. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that'll come to fruition one day.
Did you know Babe Ruth had 136 triples?
Really?
Who has even 10 triples nowadays, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, I do gotta say something about this game of baseball that's coming back. You know, the stealing bases is getting a little more now. I mean, people are legging out. I think people are legging out more triples than they were used to just legging out doubles. I think the game's changing a little bit for the better. What do you guys think?
I love the time clock.
So I got a little triples trivia tidbit for you boys about
Okay.
Shohei. I think, I'm not positive at this point, but I do think he does lead the league in triples as well as home runs. And like I think there's like 3 players to ever do that, like throughout a season. And it's like Willie Mays, like huge guys. Like, I'm not denying this guy by any means. Like, he is it, you know?
Yes.
But yeah, like speaking of triples, like he has, I don't know, maybe 7?
Yeah, he does run that. Yep.
Like somewhere around there, which I think leads the league. But yeah, like he's just doing these amazing things, man. Like he is just incredible, but I think he won't be able to sustain it.
You don't think so?
You know, I don't, man. I honestly don't. Like, I think like whoever gets this guy, whether the Angels keep him or he goes somewhere, like you do this with every player, but you're paying for past production and not like realistic expectations. You know?
Yeah, but Kev, don't you think that if you just take a shot on this guy and give this guy money, just like the ticket sales and the jersey sales alone will take care of that contract?
Sure, maybe. But I'm not business savvy enough to like say yeah, because like I'm sure there's a lot more involved, you know, in like owning a team and like dealing with these like, you know, luxury tax issues and stuff like that, and like you're hamstrung for like 6 years and things like that, you know. So
yeah, you really got to make the commitment.
Don't know. Like, I would love him for a year, you know.
Okay, but
like,
what are you willing to give up?
Like, if I could get him as a rental, yeah, all in, hands down, all in.
All right, so that being said, the Yankees get Shohei Ohtani this year as a rental. Do they win the World Series?
No, not a guarantee. Like, there's a lot more going on with the Yankees than just missing Shohei Ohtani.
Mm-hmm. I mean, then think about this. So you get Shohei Ohtani, okay, get him as a rental. Then you're out Volpe, Peraza, name your other stars. You know, that could, Dominguez. You know, are you willing to get rid of these 3 guys? You know, just to have somebody as a rental?
Volpe might be a little tough.
Like, I'm not. You know, only because like it's not really like putting that last nail into the World Series. You know, there's no quote unquote guarantee. There's no guarantees anyway. But like,
no.
Like if he was the missing piece, then maybe. You know,
yeah,
like like a maybe with a question mark.
Yeah, like listen, like I said before, dude, put Shohei Ohtani somehow on the Baltimore Orioles right now. That you could hand them the World Series.
Yep. What about Tampa, Rich? Put him in Tampa,
dude. Tampa. Listen, Tampa's lost 11 of the last 14, dude.
Yeah, but they need a spark. He could be the
like
spark they
maybe
need.
Baltimore, but like I don't think Baltimore can afford him.
I'm just talking about situationally, dude. I'm just putting him on a team that's ready to win right this second.
As a rental, Rich, right? For 3 months.
As a rental, yeah, even as a rental. But I mean, listen, I do understand you're gonna have to empty out farm systems, this, that, and the other thing. But if you do get him and you don't have to, like, just like hypothetically speaking, like Baltimore somehow pulls off the steal of the century and they're able to keep, the catcher, they have the Rushman, they have all those guys there, and then he comes on there. I think they win the World Series with him. I really do. They're playing that.
I got a team for you, Rich. I got a team.
That's also the other thing. It's like getting him, yeah, sure, but like what you're giving to get him is
right.
Like that. It really doesn't equate in the end,
Right.
What about Atlanta,
especially with
Rich?
the Yankees,
What about it goes to
because they're just
Atlanta?
not there. I think they make the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah. But Eric, that's my worst. Eric, you just said something. That's my worst nightmare. Going to Atlanta,
Rich, as a rental, or
going to
Miami.
Atlanta.
Miami, as a matter of fact, too. If Miami had Ohtani too, right?
Now, if he's going to go anywhere, he's going to go to a hub.
Yep.
Like probably the Dodgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seattle,
the Padres.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I feel like he's a West Coast guy because
unfortunately.
I mean, I don't know if I'm getting into like a riptide here, but like a lot of Asian players sort of prefer the West Coast.
They do.
Yeah. I thought that for the longest time, and I still think it might be, I thought he was going to go to Seattle.
Yeah. How about the Giants too?
Yeah. Well, the Giants. Well,
how about Oakland?
At the end of the day, none of us know what's going on in the Ohtani household. They could be just sitting there like, what? I'm going to retire next year, man. I'm done with baseball. They could be saying that. His wife could be like, son, like, I don't want you going to that baseball field anymore. Don't you think you made enough money and hit enough home runs? You're retiring. Yes, dear. And he's done.
Wow.
Just like that. See how a woman could just destroy it? Just like that. But honey, I'm the greatest baseball player. But honey, I'm the greatest baseball player on the planet. Yeah, but you're the worst husband on the planet. So get your ass over here now and cook me dinner.
Yeah,
right. I don't know.
And he'll still make the Hall of Fame after 5 years, Rich.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will. Of course he will. All right.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. How much money do you think he's going to get next year in a contract? How much? What do you think? 50, 60 million a year?
He's going to get 60.
60, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
In like the 60, 63 range, and honestly, like, I don't think he's going to get a long-term deal. He's going to get like a 4-year deal, maybe.
Oh, wow. You think that's short, huh?
I think so, man, because I think everybody, like, I've had this belief for a long time. Like he's absolutely phenomenal, but it's kind of like how long can you sustain that?
He's
like
close to 30 years old too. Yeah, he's 29.
Like at some point you're gonna have to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're paying 60 for a guy that's doing half of what he did before.
And a DH, right? He never plays the field. He's only DH.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think you're coming across somebody that's just like a once in a lifetime, a generational player. I mean, it's like
totally agree, dude. But I think you have to take that last thing I just said into account. You're right. It's unsustainable what he's doing right now, as far as contract goes and futures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the price he's going to command for a trade, like, I kind of almost rather sit back and wait and see if he becomes a free agent and try to get him then,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, like you guys have like you have Volpe, and I don't know how you guys feel about Dominguez, but and on my end, I have Alvarez and even Beatty to that degree. But you are not. I don't care who you're giving me. You are not getting Francisco Alvarez from the Mets. There's no way. He's a catcher, and the guy is just a home run hitting machine, dude. So I am not. I don't care for show at a time.
Honestly, man, like if you as a Met fan want him, like you're gonna have to give him up.
Then I don't have Shohei Ohtani. I think he could stay in California. I don't care. I'm not giving up Alvarez for him. There's no way in hell I'm giving up Alvarez.
Like, that's a piece that's not gonna be able to not be part of the puzzle when it comes to getting him.
Then I guess I'll have Tyler McGill starting and David Peterson starting baseball games for me, because at least Francisco Alvarez will be catching the baseball and hitting home runs.
Like, he's not going to command 3 prospects. He's going to have to command at least like a primetime producer in the major leagues at this particular moment, you know?
Well, listen, I hate to say it too, but you could have Mark Vientos and Ronnie Mauricio. Take them. I'm not saying that I'm not saying take them like like foo take them, but they're really good ball players. I'd hate to part with them, but I would part with them, but not Alvarez.
Yeah, like for you guys, like if there was some way you could get him by giving up McNeil and not Alvarez and whoever else, then yeah, I'd be totally on board as a Met fan for that.
Kev, I don't know if you heard before. I'm so tired of Jeff McNeil too. I'm tired of this squirrel. Oh, the little squirrels. No, I'm tired of him too. He can't play the field and he doesn't hit home runs. If he's not batting 300, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I hear you, dude. Yeah.
Very question, Kevin. What about Nolan Arenado coming to the Yankees?
Yeah, yeah. For what though?
It would be cheap because it would be money. It's a money swap.
Just
so the Cardinals would be happy to get rid of the salary.
Yeah, I would totally absorb him. Yeah.
He's got about 4 or 5 years left on the contract, and he'll be more production than Donaldson gave you.
Oh God! Yeah. I mean, Donaldson, dude. I think I could hit fucking 220.
Oh my crazy!
God. Yeah, he's terrible.
You know?
He's terrible.
Oh,
and that's what, like 40 more points than he's hitting right now.
He's got like more home runs than singles, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. Whatever.
Wow.
So, anything else going on, Kev? What else is new?
$6 billion.
Yeah, 6.5 or 6.05.
Crazy.
Yes. Now, what is that all about? I just heard that, Kev, and you're the Redskin fan here. Like, what that means? That means what's his name's not your owner anymore?
That means that my 24 years of purgatory are over.
Wow. Snyder's been there for that long, huh?
Yeah, he's been there a long time, man.
Oh, he was a terrible owner.
Yeah.
Who bought them?
Yeah. Like, honestly, so glad to just get rid of that guy.
Some guy, Josh Harris, bought him. Who's Josh Harris?
Yeah, Josh Harris. He owns the Devils and he owns the 76ers.
Oh, okay. He's part of that group. I heard that. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like we're all like fucking sunrises over here in the Washington Commanders household.
Dude, how awesome must your life be if you could just like sit around the house one day and just be like, you know what? I think I'm going to buy the Redskins. What do you think, honey? Could you imagine to have that kind of money?
Well, this guy,
like I have to ask my wife to go to the store. I have to ask my wife if I'm going to go to the store to go buy some weed. Honey, can I get $40 to go buy some weed? It's like this guy's buying a fucking a franchise, football team.
I don't think.
I guess money's relative, but
he owes 2 other teams. Rich, what's the third team? Now he'll buy a baseball team too to come full cycle.
Yeah,
maybe an MLS team too.
Those only cost $1.98.
Oh, not the women. The women are pretty damn good, man.
Oh, the World Cup starts. You're going to watch, Rich?
Yeah, they're pretty damn good, but they get beat the fuck up by fucking 16-year-old high school kids.
Yo, the only reason I'm going to be watching is because, what's her name? Is that she's a looker. That one soccer player,
Morgan.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Morgan.
Alex Morgan. That's her name, right?
She's a looker.
Yeah, she is. And she looks pretty good in soccer pants, too. So maybe I might be checking out the women's soccer. But that's crazy, though.
Episode 41, Soccer Report, Rich.
Okay, let's do it. Is that annoying one still play? The blonde one? Does she still play on that team?
I think she does.
The one that changes the hair?
The one that has all that righteous stuff to say?
Yeah, this is her last time, I think. One? Her last go-around.
Megan Rapinoe.
Megan, that's her name. Yeah.
Whatever with Megan Ripken. Just go retire.
Actually, they're the favorites to win the United States.
She wants to be a social justice warrior or something.
Well, it'd be their third in a row. Like they
play Vietnam, I think. They kick off with Vietnam tomorrow night or something.
Yeah. I
Vietnam.
actually just saw that on SportsCenter earlier.
Yeah. I never knew Vietnam had a soccer team.
Like,
No,
I don't
I didn't.
follow it, but I do catch like little blurbs of things. Like,
Mhm.
oh, the World Cup's starting tomorrow. Like I had no
Yeah.
idea until like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I've been kind of following following it because, like I said, every time that chick is on TV, I turn and I stop whatever I'm doing to watch the television. So that's the only reason why I knew that the World Cup was this week.
Yeah. Hey, man, however your awareness is how it is.
Yeah, exactly. So with this new ownership here with the Washington Redskins, Kev, what do you think is going to be the first move? Fire the whole team, or what do you think?
I honestly, I don't think you're going to see much happen this year because the guy hasn't even sat in the seat yet.
Right.
But
One big
the
question,
future,
Kevin. Are they
I
going to
feel
change
like
the name of the team again?
well, that's another thing. Like
Yeah, I heard. Maybe.
yeah. Like they could go for the record of name changes by a professional sports team within 5 years.
What if the new owner comes back and just renames them the Washington Redskins?
Oh, dude, I would love him. I would love
How
him.
awesome would that be? And then he goes and buys the Cleveland Guardians and goes back and calls them the Indians.
Oh, jeez.
Like I would love it, man. I would so love it.
Wow.
Oh, what a kick in the balls to the NFL that would be. It's like, bro, it's my team. I'm calling them the Redskins.
Now, Kevin, I got a question. Do you get the Sunday ticket?
I do not know.
Okay, I was just going to ask because they have it on YouTube this year, and I don't know how that's going to be streaming or anything, but I don't know anybody that has it. But
Yeah, honestly, like I actually get enough of their games to not have to get it because, like, I
okay,
live in
with the
Connecticut.
Eastern, yeah.
So, like, I get these like odd NBC games like that you guys don't get in New York.
Okay.
And every now and then they're on. Plus, they're on for the Giants, and like sometimes like we get the Philly game and stuff, on. And so there's enough games for me to see them to not have to purchase that.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could be like a Jet fan like Rich, and every game's in primetime this year.
8 primetime football, and actually 9 primetime
9.
football games for my New York Jets. When
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers marches in to MetLife Stadium and says to the New York Giants, "Move over, Daniel Jones. This is a greenhouse, not a blue house. Get the hell out of here." Saquon Barkley, get off your ass and play some football. If not, the Giants are going nowhere fast this year. Let's go, New York Jets. You hear what Garrett Wilson said? Garrett Wilson said, "Of course we're going to win the Super Bowl this year."
Yeah, dude, honestly, like he's a second-year player, dude. I don't give a shit what he says.
The second-year player that's going to be looked at just like Jerry Rice in a couple of years because that man is going to be one of the greatest wide receivers ever. Come on, Kev, you know me. I'm a Jet.
Like he's got the assumed pedigree to do that.
Yes.
But again, we're talking 17 games.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, listen. Realistically, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, the Jets have a very, very good shot of making good run in the playoffs. That's realistically. But realistically, him staying
healthy, they're going to the championship game.
I mean, yeah, I hate to say, like I said, I'm always like, the Jet fans, like we're always going to Super Bowl, but this is like the first year. I'm like, holy shit, we got a good football team, dude.
Definitely optimistic, right, Rich? Heading into the season, right?
EDUBBS, I have to, like, no one commented on my comments earlier, but you missed a very important number 40 in James Hasty.
Oh, yes, James Hasty. There you go.
Wow.
I used to have Jet season tickets back in the day. James Hasty was one of the best ones, yeah.
Because I'm a closet Jet fan because I can't be a Jet fan.
Aaron Glenn, James Hasty, all those guys, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, listen.
So I appreciate your struggles, Murph.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it, Kev. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I don't know.
So what do you think of the Redskins this year, Kev? How many games they're going to win?
I feel an honest 8.
Okay.
Like that's the floor, if you want to call it like a floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ceiling, maybe 10.
Okay.
Depending on how the quarterback.
Hello?
You were there? I think we lost Kevin.
You there, guys?
Oh, we're here.
Oh, hey,
Can you hear
back.
me?
No, we lost you a
Yeah.
second.
Oh,
Okay, we lost you a
like
second.
I
Yeah.
got a call. I dismissed it, but like I didn't
No,
know.
okay.
So, but like depending on how the North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell turns out, like you never know, man. They got a really good team.
Yeah.
They're just like the defense is stout. They got weapons on offense. It's really just O-line and quarterback play, really. Like it's really going to determine how between 8 and 10,
Now, what happens? What happens if they're still just like a mediocre franchise over the next couple of years, and like does the owner get blamed again? Like I don't know, because the Redskins kind of like with like the Jets, like the last couple of years, they've won more Super Bowl or been to Super Bowl more times, but they just can't seem to get out of their own way sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like they sign these big names. I understand it was the owner, and but they just can't seem to get out of their own way sometimes.
I feel like whenever you change an owner, like there has to be at least a 2-year grace period to shuffle through the shit,
Yeah.
Because you got contracts that you didn't care to have, and just like stuff like it all starts with next year's draft, really, with the new owner.
Mhm.
Not that I know that he has any sort of like guru type draft ideas of players, but you got to give him 2 years,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
hopefully get an offensive lineman,
well,
here and there, just like, to do whatever you do, Josh Harris.
Hey,
oh,
Rich,
well,
I want to take a step back, Rich. Uncle Stevie's been there 3 years already. What's the time on him? What do you think to win a championship?
listen, that's the time on Uncle Stevie. The time on Uncle Stevie is he said 3 to 5 years, right? If nothing happens now, he's going to fire everybody. I almost guarantee it. I really think if nothing
You
happens.
think Buck's out of a job after the season?
Yes, absolutely. If they don't make the playoffs this year, 100% Buck Showalter's getting fired by Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen doesn't have any feelings, dude. He's a billionaire. Billionaires have no feelings.
I think Buck was out of a job a week ago.
Yeah, I do too. I actually do too, Kev. And you know why? And I don't think it's because Buck's a bad manager. I just think that he's just beside himself and he just doesn't know what's going on in this modern day age of baseball. Like people are telling him what to do. Like
I tell you
what,
you know what Buck Showalter should be? He should be Don Zimmer.
Yeah. Bench coach.
Yeah. For Carlos Beltran.
For Aaron Boone.
Or somebody like that. Somebody like that. I agree. I said that too. I think he should be.
Like he'd be that fly on the wall to be like, to grab the shoulder of the manager and be like, well, maybe we do this.
Yeah.
Not that he's like dictating policy or something like that. It's more of a just suggestional position, because I do believe still, even in this day of advanced analytics and stats and fucking shit like that, which I just like want to throw up at.
Yeah.
There's still a place in baseball for that guy.
Yeah.
Like that guy who knows baseball, that guy that has those gut feelings, But I just don't think should be the manager.
Yeah. You're probably right about that. Like, I loved him. I was a sympathizer, love him, but maybe the game's just going past him. I don't know.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, he's had a phenomenal career as far as building teams to give to future World Series winners.
Paves the way.
like the guy has a knack for making a team and then letting someone else come in to kind of
World Series.
Yeah, like Joe Torre.
Yeah.
Get you in the door,
Yeah. Joe Torre. Joe Torre is one of the greatest managers of all time because of Buck Showalter.
Yeah, they called him Clueless Joe when he started, right?
Well, I mean, for honestly, like that '96 year, yeah, that was Buck's team. But going forward from that, like a lot of that was Torrey. And
I know.
his ability to manage egos on that team, those teams, was really the difference that made them World Series, champions and stuff like that over all those years,
Oh, definitely. You still have to manage the guys,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he was more managing egos than the game.
Egos, that's right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had a lot of them on that Yankees squad. 25 egos.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
For many years too, man, and that roster flipped a bit since '98.
Except like Scott Brocious. I don't think Scott Brocious had an ego. He seemed like a nice guy.
Well, yeah, I mean that there were outliers that didn't have to be coddled or stuff like that. Of course, like Charlie Hayes. Pick a third baseman.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and when I say that, I don't like discredit Torrey in any sort of way either.
No.
Like the man got it done.
Yes, he did.
The
And he won a bunch of World Series.
Yeah,
exactly. And listen, you got to give the guy credit. He won a bunch of World Series for the Yankees, and it's he's going to go down in history as one of the greatest, one of the best managers ever. I mean, because he won all those World Series in such a short period of time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I heard something the other day too that I may have even been today, that he helped the Mets win a World Series by hitting into a double play in like the NLCS or something like that in 1969.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So, like you should appreciate him too.
Yeah, well,
There you go, Rich. Right?
he was the first ever manager of the New York Mets that I remember going to Shea Stadium in 1976. He was the manager of the New York Mets.
Actually, they did pretty good that year in '76. I think they finished over 500, right?
They did all right.
Season.
Listen, I was 5 years old, but All right, listen, guys, we're coming up on like an hour and a half. I got to cut it short a little bit tonight because I just realized I got a bunch of stuff that I got to do because I got to get up at 3:00 in the morning, and it just hit me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going back to work for a couple of days tomorrow here and there, but I'm getting myself back slowly but surely. But yeah, I'm going into I'm doing a couple of days tomorrow, and then I'm going to see what happens after that. But yeah, I'm getting myself back to work.
So you're actually waking up earlier than me now, Murph, huh?
Yeah, I got to get up at the old 3:30 in the morning, get on that train tomorrow morning. So yeah, I hear you. Listen, we had, we got a whole bunch of football stuff that we have to, get
you know
to.
what though? We got to talk about the picks this year. Let's think of a prize for the picks and stuff.
Yes, we definitely have to do that. Have to do that.
Yep.
Kev, you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Kev, you still there? Like I said, I just got to cut it a little short tonight, and I just realized I got something I got to do that if I don't get it done, I'm going to be up till about 2:00 in the morning, and that's not going to be. I'm not going to be a happy camper at 3. So. All right, guys. So listen, I don't know if you want to stay on and start kicking it with the AUBZ, E, and I'll cut out, or it's up to you.
Kev, you want to stay on? We can talk some sports.
I'll stick around for a bit. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to leave this to you, and I got to step out. If you guys are still on in the next half hour, I'm going to stop back on. But this is Murph signing off, and E, I'm sorry I left you hanging here, but I got to go do this thing, and you guys continue the show without me. And listen, this is Murph signing off, and E, you got this handle, dude.
Thanks, pal. Yeah, thanks, Murph, and we'll see you next week for episode 41, right?
Absolutely. Just give me a buzz when it's done, and I am going to shoot it out there. So, all right, guys.
And a final congrats on a year, Murph, before you sign off.
Thank you so much.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah. We're keeping it going, man. And hopefully, like I said, you guys are right there with us, and I really appreciate it, man. I do. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, guys. You guys can talk about me now because I'm going to turn the volume down, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'll talk to you later.
We're going to talk about you too, man.
All right, I'll talk to you later, guys.
Take care, Rich. So, Kevin, what do you think about Anthony Volpe? Do you think he's the real deal or what?
So it's kind of been a roller coaster with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the spring training, beginning of the year, it was like super high.
Yep.
And it's now it's like, yeah.
He had the chicken parm. He had that good stretch and stuff, right?
Yeah, now it's like, I don't know.
But you know what, though? One thing they never did, no matter how low his batting average got, they never sent him back to the minors. They did it with Cabrera. I don't think Cabrera is a great player. I think Volpe has better talent than Cabrera. But I don't know. I mean, give him a full year under his belt and see what he does yesterday. I think we were so used to what Jeter did his first year, basically,
Yeah, I guess, it's tough because of his position, because it's always going to be reflected back to Jeter in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
And he's not killing it,
He's hitting his home runs, though.
Yeah, like he's doing it, but he's not he's not raising eyebrows.
I think the way they're moving him around the lineup too, that could be a key as well. I mean, he's batting first one night, batting seventh the next. He's like all over the lineup.
Well, that I think hurts him.
Definitely, yeah.
Like they got to find him a spot and just leave him there. And honestly, they did for the very beginning, right? Then they had to supplement the 25 man.
Yep.
And that they had to shift stuff around and stuff. It hasn't really worked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's probably got the toughest spot in baseball right now.
Oh, no doubt about it. Shortstop New York Yankees, yeah.
Between all the eyes and expectations,
of course,
and stuff, like the hype, like the preseason hype,
yep,
and stuff, like
local kid, Jersey, right?
And the fact that they're sucking right now,
horrible.
Like I even think they've lost the energy to suck at this point.
Even like his in the beginning of the season, like he had the stolen bases first 4 games, and even the stolen bases have tailed off for him. It seemed like the Yankees were trying to do that small ball, but they reverted back to home runs. Basically, it seems.
Yeah. Well, the Yankees they're always going to revert back to home runs. Like I don't care what owner, manager, players you have on the team, like it's always going to be home run driven. Like that's really honestly how I feel. Like you're never going to see baseball being played in its true form anyway,
True. All or nothing. Yep.
Which sucks, man. Like it sucks. Like I would love to see a bunt.
Yeah,
like a well executed bunt. Like I would love to see that.
Like these extra inning games. You go into the extra innings, you got the guy on second, right?
That kills me. I
down a freaking bunt.
hate that.
Yeah, because then you have a free out to score a run, basically. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
I don't like the Ghost Runner though. Are you a fan of the Ghost Runner?
No, not at all.
I hate it.
Not at all.
Right.
Just like I would love to see some sort of correlation between like years past and this Ghost Runner thing as to how far games last when they go extra innings. Like I would love to see some sort of stat for that. Because I honestly don't know, but I honestly don't think it saves any time.
Nope. I mean, it was good during the COVID year. That's when they had it, first because they played that short season, whatever. But I think after that they should have got rid of it. I don't know how the players like it or anything, but the pitchers don't mind because it's not an earned run for the pitcher. The guy on second base is not an earned run. So,
and honestly, if you're not putting it in the postseason, it shouldn't be in the regular season.
Right, exactly. I know they're doing the clock in the postseason. I heard that.
Like that whole thing just boggles my mind too, man. Like how do you play 162 games one way? And then you play a possible, what is it, like 20, 30 games in the postseason, a different way. Like, how do you do that? Like, that's not okay with me.
Yeah, no, exactly. Changing the rules around. And the ghost runner, I mean, it's just stupid because half of the times the game's end in the 10th inning with the ghost runner.
Yeah.
Give me a good 18 inning game. I was talking to my son. I don't know. Do you remember the Braves Mets game on July 4th many years ago?
Was that like the 23 inning game? Was that
something
game?
like that. Yeah. And the game ended like 4 a.m, and they shot the fireworks off. They broke all the Atlanta curfews, whatever, noise regulations and stuff. I mean, that's pitchers come up, hit home runs and stuff. That's the baseball we want to see. I mean, it's not every day. It's a couple of times a year. A game goes like 13, 14, 15 innings and stuff. I hate that rule.
Like, honestly, it's almost like taking away a silent beauty of the game of baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah. It's just something like a sacrilege or, something like that. Like I just can't get on board with that. Like I
didn't get on board when they had the National League. They took the pitchers hitting from I liked it when the pitchers hit and stuff. I know the pitchers suck, but every once in a while a pitcher gets into a ball like CC Sabathia or even Bartolo Colon and can put it out of the park and stuff. But I kind of like seeing the pitchers hit.
Oh, I did too, man. Like I loved like that separation of leagues.
And there was a strategy too.
Yeah, of course. Like you knew you had the bottom of the lineup coming up, and you like as a National League team, like you knew like you would maybe not have to change your pitcher.
Right.
It changed the game so drastically. Like I'm all for change.
Yeah.
But when you make something so drastic as far as like strategy and stuff like that, like I just can't I don't know. I just don't like it.
There was another rule. I don't know if you heard this one. They're experimenting in the minor leagues where the pitcher must go 5 innings, the starting pitcher. If the starting pitcher doesn't go 5 innings, they lose their designated hitter, basically, and the pitchers have to hit the rest of the game on and stuff like that. I mean, that's the stupidest rule I ever heard. Why that rule?
Like, that's just a joke. Like, what if your pitcher gets hurt?
Exactly. That's right. If the pitcher gets hurt, you lose the pitcher, you lose the DH. And the pitcher has to hit now going forward.
Like
you have to use pitchers.
There was no injury clause in that rule. There was just like straight up like.
I heard they're experimenting it in one of the minor leagues, independent leagues, whatever. But yeah, there's got to be some stipulation if a guy gets hurt or something like that, right? I mean, it would be cruel for a guy to go out in the first inning, pull a hamstring or get hit with a ball on a comebacker, and they lose their DH. They lose their DH the rest of the game. That would suck,
right? Like that's absolutely terrible. Like I mean, that's a commissioner responsibility, and this guy is shit.
Oh, did you see the draft where they were booing him and stuff like that? Did you see that?
Oh, honestly, man, I think they hate him worse than they hate Goodell.
Oh, Goodell, yeah. Every commissioner is hated. The only commissioner that's not hated is Adam Silver in the NBA. But when you watch the NFL draft, it's like the first when Goodell comes up there. But I heard in Seattle there wasn't that many fans, but you hear all the boos, and I think it really affected Manfred. They showed him he was getting like really affected by it.
Well, he sucks. Honestly, man, he sucks as a commissioner, man.
He's making baseball Disney World basically with all these rules and stuff. It's like what kids do in the schoolyard and stuff. This isn't real baseball. These rules, you know. It's like, and what else could he do now to change the game, right?
Well, honestly, anything he wants, really, right?
Yeah. Well, look, the teams are wearing the patches now, right? Yankees going to start wearing it now soon when they come home. I guess they're going to wear one.
The patches? What are you talking about?
Oh, advertising. They're wearing some kind of insurance company, Star Insurance. I think they're going to wear. So anything they can make the money in baseball, I guess he's okay with. I guess, right? Yeah. But
that's going to piss me off so much, man, because I was so mad when I noticed that Yankee symbol or the Nike symbol.
Oh, right.
On the Yankee uniform, I was like.
Yep.
And honestly, like, I'm going to be totally honest. It was like last night where I was like, is that a fucking Nike symbol on their jersey? I had never noticed it before.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I was so mad about that. Like,
the worst part is when they have when these teams have their throwback days and you see the Nike swoosh. There was no Nike back then,
Yeah, right.
Jeez. It's just bizarre what baseball turned into. But you know what? Once they call Yankee Stadium an advertiser's name instead of Yankee Stadium, I think that would be the ultimate, right?
Yeah, right.
Like Yankee
But honestly, man,
Drink Cake Stadium or Starbucks Stadium or something like, right?
like
Crazy.
when they start wearing these emblems and patches and shit, like
Yeah, like NASCAR drivers,
I
right?
honestly hope like ticket prices go down.
Yeah, right. Well, I said
You
they're going to
know,
wear these patches for the insurance company. They're going to start wearing, and that's going to be the money they're going to give to Shohei Ohtani or something like that, right?
like if you're making all this buck on friggin' advertisements on your jerseys, like you better make the price point of a ticket available to people that like myself, who have decided not to go to professional games anymore. It's just way too expensive. Like if I went by myself, it's like a
Yep.
$300 day.
It's crazy, right? It's
Between
unreal. With the
tickets,
transportation getting there and the
parking,
food. Yep.
food,
hmm
factor in some gas that's going up to like $12 a gallon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bizarre.
Like give some fans some relief here. Like you're making all this TV money. Like I just don't get it. It's like they're just squeezing us.
Yeah, TV money, licensing, all that stuff, basically, and yeah, you're getting squeezed because they're charging you the food prices, they're charging you the ticket prices, it's just crazy, right? It's like, and the
it's
owners,
like earlier on about like
and the
you
owners
guys
are pocketing the money. I mean, they're allowed to, but it's like improve the teams too while you're at it.
like you guys joked about like a soda and Cracker Jacks, and I was like, yeah, that's $40.
Yeah, I got it for free. Yeah, exactly, right.
Like I could buy Cracker Jacks at CVS for like $1.99.
I know, right?
Come on, people. Like seriously.
Even the toy and the Cracker Jacks, you think you get something good with that $10 bag of Cracker Jacks, right? No, you get the stupid tattoo, right?
Like $8.50 for a soda. Come on.
Yeah, well, I did see something when I was in Tampa. They charge you $8.50 for the soda, but you can get free refills. They have the fountains where you just go up and get free refills. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was when you were on your Rumspringa.
Yeah, my rum. Yeah, every year my Rumspringa. I'm already looking at next year, Kevin.
Oh, you do that every year, huh?
Yeah, well, my son and I we did it. 2019 was the first time we did it, and my wife just got a new car. We took our car. We went to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, and all the way to Toronto and back. So we did a big circle, and then COVID came, so we lost 2020. 2021 we did local, and my dad passed away, and then I told him, my son, every Father's Day, we're going to go away. So we did California last year. We did the South this year. And it looks like the schedule came out already. So we're going to do the Midwest next year. So our goal is to hit all 30. That's our goal.
Nice.
Yeah. And, baseball stadiums are so much different than football stadiums because I've been to a lot of football games around the country. And the baseball stadiums have like their little, like even in Tampa, they had the Ray pool where the Rays were swimming and stuff like that. They have their own little Hall of Fame with Wade Boggs and Carl Crawford and Don Zimmer, basically, little things.
Tampa has Wade Boggs in their Hall of Fame.
Yes, they do. Yeah, but he played there for like a hot minute, right?
You're right.
he got his 3,000 hit there though, right? His 3,000, I think he got there and stuff. So, but yeah, that's another thing me and Murph have to talk about. We have to talk about like athletes, like baseball, football players that played on like obscure teams at the end of their careers and stuff like that. People don't realize that Joe Namath played with the Rams, right?
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson with the 49ers, and stuff like that, But I was like, look at these baseball players. I forgot, Ricky Henderson played like for every team, basically,
I think Barry Sanders was actually possibly a Redskin at some point until he retired.
Wow, really, huh?
Yeah. Like if he didn't retire, he was going to be a Redskin.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Imagine that. Jeez.
Yeah.
Where did he retire at, like 25 or something like that?
Like I imagined that for a long time, Dubs.
Yeah. Did he retire? Did he retire when, I guess when Walter Payton died, I guess that's when he decided to retire?
I don't know.
Yeah. He didn't want to break the record or something like that. I don't know. I forgot.
I just know it was in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah,
I remember that. Like it was.
Dave Winfield played for the Indians, I think. I never remember that.
Did he really? Like I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I think he played for the Indians, maybe, or a cup of coffee with. I don't remember. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. You do because people don't realize like these players with the obscure teams and stuff. Yeah, like Wade Boggs, right? Nobody remembers him as a Ray, really, right?
Right.
Yeah, as a Devil Ray, nonetheless, right?
Devil Ray, yeah. That's
Now,
long past also, right?
yeah, because the word devil, but the New Jersey Devils kept it because of the Jersey Devil story and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty cool though. Seeing the Hall of Fame, we went to Miami. They had they had the World Series trophies on display. Of course, one of them was in 2003 that broke my heart. Probably yours too and stuff. But yeah. But yeah, every football stadiums I've been there, like MetLife has really. Have you been to the new stadium in Washington? Have you been there?
I have not. No.
The Redskins, I mean, the Redskins where they play.
Yeah, no. I have
What is
not.
it? It's FedEx Field. Is it still called
Oh,
FedEx
well,
Field?
yeah. No, I've been to FedEx. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been to RFK.
I heard it's hard. It's hard to get there and stuff like that. I never been there or anything, but
I remember a lot of walking.
okay.
Like I do remember a long walk, like
Mm-hmm.
like 2 drinks from like the random water guy on the street walk.
Oh, jeez.
like it was one of those walks. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, dude, here's $4. I'll take a water.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Wow. Just like the guy selling beer outside Yankee Stadium for $5, That's the newest thing. You don't even need ID. You see kids going up and buying beer. It's like, how does that happen?
Well, it's New York City, man. They're not looking at the Yankee game,
No, exactly. The cops are just standing there watching the guy sell it too, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
too much paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Too much. Yeah, but it's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens at the trade deadline. I don't know. What do you think? Sellers or buyers? Mostly, who they're going to trade Severino? You think? I don't know.
Honestly, man, like I don't think they're in a spot to trade anybody for anything at this point. Like they're just sort of like, like they're not gonna. Maybe they make the playoffs if they make a move.
I guess the next 2 weeks will tell a lot what they're going to do on the first.
How far are they out? Like 2 games, 4 games,
3.5 out of the wild card.
Yeah. I mean, early, like baseball's so tough to talk about day to day because it's so long.
Mm-hmm.
And like from now till the end of August, like it's like a lifetime.
Seems like it, right? Yeah. Definitely.
Just ask any Met fan.
Hope Mert's still listening.
Any Met fan
the Mets have been in that position for how many years? Like 30-something years, right?
Right. But like they're doing absolutely nothing until Judge steps back onto the field.
True. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not that he himself is going to change so much. It's just that his presence just sort of makes everybody else better. Like they can all kind of exhale, like they don't feel the need in the batter's box to make something happen. They could just sort of like play ball,
Yeah. Having his presence in the lineup, though, I think that's a major thing too. It definitely will hopefully awaken some of the bats at least.
It's huge, man. It's like losing Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. That's your number one guy. I mean, he was locked into that number 2 spot in the lineup, and now who's batting number 2? LeMahieu, Torres. It's all over the place. It's a cluster basically. Usually have your best guy batting 2, and seeing these guys, Willie Calhoun and Jake Bowers, it just doesn't. I don't know. Who knows?
Like, what's your take on LeMahieu? Like me personally, I think he's done.
I think he's done too. Yeah, I really think he's done. His better days have passed him by. I don't know. Would they have 2 more years left with him? I think 2-3 more years.
I'm not sure as the contract obligations, but
I think
I loved one of my favorite acquisitions ever for the Yanks.
Mm-hmm.
it just, I don't know, man.
He was
Like,
a hit machine. That's what he was. And it
yeah,
just seems
dude.
like just
Le
stopped.
machine, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just not there anymore, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
nope. It's just I don't know. And
like
you
his quick twitch muscles have like failed him
well,
of late,
he's got to be up
you
there in
know?
age too, Kevin. He's got to be in his mid-30s now, I think, late 30s. He's been around quite a while.
Oh yeah, he's spring chicken by any means.
Yeah, no, I think that I think he's pretty much gone, and the catching situation too. When I put it out there before, you said you think Higgy's gone if they go for a
I think
catcher.
if a catcher were to have to go, it would be Higgy. Like I like Trevino.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
like
he calls a good game.
he's not sexy. He's not, you know, anything, but he's there.
Yep.
You know, and that's all I need. That's all I need from a catcher. You know, just be there, manage a game, limit your pass balls. Like that's all I want from a catcher. Like I don't need my catcher to hit fucking 306, hit 30 home runs. You know, like I don't need that. We don't need that at every position. You know, like you need guys that get on base.
Yeah, definitely. Like if they go get a Yasmani Grandal and make him the catcher, you know, as well the DH or lefty's a lefty. I think I don't know whether catchers are out there that they would trade for or anything like that. But catcher is definitely an Achilles heel because Higgy's got some pop. Every once in a while he'll hit a home run or two.
Well, the Yanks got catchers in the system too. No,
they do. Austin Wells, I think his name is. But then I heard that he's not that great of a catcher. And there was a guy, Josh Bro, who pitched up here for the Renegades. Haven't heard about him for a while, but I know the Yankees were stocked with catchers and shortstops. But they have these. That's a surplus they have now, I guess. Like they even drafted a shortstop in the draft this year. So
honestly, like it seems like that's the case all the time. Like they have catchers and shortstops.
And they go to Vanderbilt. Usually you go to Vanderbilt. That's where they like to draft from, the Yankees.
And we're going to move this shortstop to the outfield. And we're going to move this shortstop to third base.
Oh,
like that seems like it's a revolving door with the Yankees.
Yeah, they got this guy, Trey Sweeney. They got Peraza. They got Volpe. They got all these shortstop guys. And there's only one shortstop to play. So,
yeah, you can only play one.
But I don't like Cabrera. I don't know what your views are on Cabrera. I think he's more like a super sub type guy, not a starter, everyday starter.
I've yet to form an opinion on him. But I kind of don't want to count him out, you know, like because he sort of does what Volpe does, you know, like it's just like Volpe's he got the press.
Yep.
You know, and Peraza hasn't. You know, like Peraza steals bases.
He does. Yep.
You
he
know,
gets on base too. He got on base a couple of times the other day.
Yeah. You know, like and like that's the thing with Volpe. Like you're not necessarily unreplaceable. You know, like I honestly I don't understand the hype behind this guy at this point now. You know, like sure, it was great at the start, like I said earlier. But what are we doing with this guy?
Yep, exactly.
You know, like are we really just like going, here you go, bud. You know, like you know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, time will tell. We still got 2 months left. And, we'll bring back Stump Merrill. How about it?
Stump Merrill. That's good. That's good stuff.
He's still alive, too. You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was the last time we finished in last, I guess, 1990, right?
Yeah.
But, you compare that team to this team, and that team was really bad.
We had Jesse Barfield, though, right?
Jesse Barfield, Mel Hall, all those guys, right? Alvaro Espinosa, right?
Was Kevin Moss there then, or was he earlier?
Goodness, Kevin Moss and was